Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for The Fosters Season 1, Episode 21, Adoption Day. And this was the season finale, and to be honest with you guys, I think this episode could quite possibly be the best episode of The Fosters they've done. Because this episode was amazing. There were some jaw-dropping things. One thing that was kind of disgusting, but also just very jaw-dropping and kind of came out of nowhere. That I liked it though. I liked where it went, but it just kind of came out of nowhere. However, I absolutely love this episode. I really love the way they're setting things up for the next season, and I'm really interested in seeing where it's going to go, especially at the end. Oh my god, it's going to be amazing to see what happens there. We all know what happened, but let's just get to this amazing episode because I thought it was really amazing. So, picking up right where we left off last week, we know that Brandon got in that backseat of the car with Stef and Lena, Stef and Mike, and Brandon confesses here that he bribed Anna, and his parents tell him that he can't tell anyone what he did. So Mike and Stef get out of the car, and they don't really know what to do at this point. You know, they're very confused because they want to help Brandon, and at the same time they're wondering maybe he does need to get arrested or something. And Stef tells Mike to stay as far away from Anna as possible and says she will handle it. And then she adds that Brandon has to move back to the Fosters. You know, that's what he needs to do. He needs to get back to the Fosters, and he needs to stay there. That's what he needs to do, because in order for all this to be over, that's what he needs to do. So Mike goes home. He kicks his girlfriend, Dani, out of the house, and he blames her for Brandon's misbehavior. What? What? She has nothing to do with it. She was the person who told Brandon to confess to, she was the person that told Brandon to confess to Callie about it. She was the person that told Brandon to tell his father what he was doing. She definitely is not the person who caused all this, and we know that. We know it's really his love for Callie that caused all this. So, I don't know why the hell he did that, but that was definitely a very douchebaggy move, and he should not have done that. So, Stef heads home and tells Lena that Brandon is moving home and fills her in on the fake IDs. And she leaves out the part about him bribing Anna, and Lena confesses that she's pretty sure the principal is going to expel Brandon. They're very worried about that. So they don't know what's going to happen there. So Stef pays Anna a visit and tells her to meet her at the diner tomorrow, and she's going to pay Anna the $1 million she wants as long as she stays away from her family. So Lena and then in the meantime, Lena meets up with Brandon. Starts packing. He apologizes to Mike for everything he did, and Mike tells him he has never been this disappointed in him before. He's really disappointed in him that he's doing this, and he's just really disappointed. So Callie visits Brandon at Mike's house, and she tells Brandon that she wants to be part of this family more than she has ever wanted anything more. But she needs to know that being adopted isn't going to hurt him. She needs to know that just because, you know, she's going to be his sister, is it really going to hurt him that he can't be with her? Because adoption day's tomorrow, and he reassures Callie that he's okay with her being adopted and becoming her brother. However, you can see on the inside that he does really want to be with her. However, you know, it really wasn't working. You know, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what ends up happening there. All we know is that, you know, it's definitely going to be, it was interesting to see that scene because, we didn't know how Brandon was going to react. You can clearly see that he still has feelings for her. You can see that. So yeah. And then what happens is, in the meantime, Stef and Lena were talking, and Lena met with her sperm donor, and he reveals that he's not going to sign the donor contract. He can't stand the idea of having a child. I'll talk a little bit about that later, but Stef admits that she's nervous about bringing another baby into the world, and she feels Lena in on Anna's blackmail. So then we get probably the most surprising scene of the episode. Like, literally, this was a scene, besides the ending, the scene in the episode where my jaw dropped. I did not know what was going on here. Like, literally, I was just like, am I watching a soap opera right now? It was really good, but it was just really surprising and shocking. I never thought we'd get something like this. Dani arrives at Mike's to get some of her stuff, and Brandon is drunk on the couch, upset because Callie's over him, and Dani says it's okay, and he shouldn't worry about it. They actually kiss. She's putting him to bed. They end up having sex and sleeping together. And I was just like, what? You just slept with Dani, your father's ex-girlfriend. What? I was like, I didn't even know what to say here. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if Mike was going to find out. It was just, I didn't know what was happening there. That was nuts, honestly. I loved the way they did that storyline because I didn't expect that to happen. However, it just was very, very surprising to me. So, I don't know what's going to happen there. Brandon wakes up in the morning, though, and Dani's gone, and he has a voicemail from his dad, who's obviously drunk and crying about how sorry he is. You know, he's really upset with him being so rude to Brandon and everything. Brandon calls Dani, and leaves her a voicemail asking her if she has seen, Mike. And Brandon heads to his orchestra audition and still has no idea, where Mike is. That's the whole reason why he wanted to move back into the Foster, so he could focus more on his auditions and things like that, so he could have someone take him to auditions, things like that. That's why he wanted to move back in. So, then what happens is... basically that, Dani... We already talked about that. Okay. So, then, Stef heads to the diner to meet with Anna, and she never showed up. She asked someone at the shelter where she stays if they knew where Anna is. The supervisor says someone's seen her get in a screaming match with a guy yesterday, and no one has seen her since. So, I didn't know what was going on. However, then we find out at the very end of this episode, you know, we see Mike. Dani's found Mike, and he has blood on his hands, and he's passed out drunk, and she asked him if he was in a fight, and he's barely conscious. We don't know what he did, but he clearly did something, so we don't know what he did here. So that was just, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know where that's going to go, but definitely that was really, really big. And I was just like, wow, that's huge. So then, what happens is it's finally adoption time. Stef and Lena go to the courthouse, and Lena's sitting with Callie and Jude, Brandon, Mariana, and Jesus, and waiting to see the judge. And Lena takes Stef aside and reveals that Brandon wasn't suspended. Brandon's going to be okay. And it turns out that Lena's actually pregnant. She reveals to Stef that she's pregnant. You know, she is going to have this baby, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Especially because Timothy said he doesn't want to be involved in this, so it's his baby, so what's going to happen there? Stef bursts into tears and says she's not upset, she's happy they're having a baby. You know, she's happy about that. So then Wyatt arrives and brings up her old counselor and her friends from the group home to support Callie on adoption day. I really was happy we got to see them one last time. And is this the last time we're going to see them? I don't think so. They're all her friends, and I'm thinking we're going to see them again. So the judge comes out and takes Stef and Lena aside, and here we get a very big reveal about Callie here. And I didn't know what they were going to say to her or what was going to happen here, but this was definitely really, really big. They tell Callie that she cannot be adopted because when the judge pulled Callie's original birth certificate, it had a different name on it other than Donald, and the man is named Robert Quinn. And she can't be adopted because now they have to track down Robert Quinn. That's probably going to be the big plot of next season, is tracking down this guy, getting him to sign the papers. And Callie tells Jude, so she doesn't know what to do. She's really crushed over this. And Jude tells Callie, I'm not getting adopted without you. But Callie says, no, you have waited long enough for this. It's time for you to get adopted. And I love how much Callie cares about Jude. Again, Jude is her #1 priority, it seems, most of the time. And this scene just shows it, that Jude is really her #1 main priority. And I really like seeing that from them. I always love their scenes together. So that was definitely a really powerful scene. And she doesn't know what to do at this point. She storms out of the courthouse in tears, probably ready to run away again. And I was watching this with my parents, and my parents were like, if you do not run away again. My mother was like screaming at the TV, do not run away again. And I knew she wasn't going to, because Rita follows her and gives her a pep talk about basically not to give up, you know, not to let one little thing get you down. I like that this episode had that message of not letting one little thing get you down. And that's what Callie ultimately decides to do. She decides to, she decides that she needs to stay with the Fosters, even though she's not technically adopted, she's adopted to them. So they head back into the courthouse, and Jude is officially adopted. Really great song that's playing here. And I really like the montage here. You know, you see him getting adopted, everyone's really happy. The whole family heads home to celebrate after court, and Callie reassures Lena that she's okay, even though she didn't get adopted. You know, she's really, even though she didn't get adopted, she's perfectly okay. So, Callie seems like she's gonna be okay. So, Wyatt sits down with Callie outside. This is at the very end of the episode. Wyatt sits down with Callie outside and asks if not getting adopted, if not getting adopted changes anything about her relationship with Brandon. And Callie reassures Wyatt that it changes nothing, and then she kisses him. She's playing him this song on the guitar. You know, really, really nice scene. However, then the scene got really violent because Brandon arrives at Mike's house to get the rest of his stuff. And out of nowhere, he's jumped by Vico and this other guy. We don't know who it is, but these guys start violently punching Brandon, and they beat him unconscious. And that's how this episode ends. Brandon is knocked down. He goes right into a vehicle, and he's now unconscious. So, definitely, this whole Vico thing is not over. And Stef and Lena were very concerned because even though Brandon not being suspended means nothing bad's gonna happen to Vico. So definitely now it's gonna be very intense. It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens here, and I cannot wait for the next season because of what happens in this finale. There was more besides this, though, believe it or not. There was a little bit more that happened, and we'll get to it. Let's first get to Mariana, because I definitely really enjoyed their plot, the way it ended. Mariana heads over to Zack, and his mom answers his door and remembers Mariana's name and acts as if nothing the night before happened. And it turns out that Zack steps outside and talks to Mariana, and he confesses that his mom has Alzheimer's disease. She has early stages. She's been showing early stages of Alzheimer's disease, and that's why she didn't remember who he was, because she has Alzheimer's. And, you know, it definitely was a big thing that happened there. So, Mariana goes back there. He has a huge bruise on his face. His mom lost her memory again, didn't know who Zack was, and attacked him. And Mariana basically told Zack, you cannot live with her anymore. You need to call your father. And he calls his father and asks for help with his mom. He says, I know I don't talk to you a lot, but there's something wrong with Mom, and I can't live with her anymore. And unfortunately, the sad thing is that even though he's going to be okay, he can't be with Mariana anymore, because he can't be with Mariana because he is now going to be going with his father. So will we see Zack again? I hope so. I really like his character, but if we don't, great way to end his storyline, because I thought his storyline was definitely one of the most effective storylines of the entire season. Definitely, I really enjoyed their storyline a lot, and it definitely ended in a really great way. I really hope Mariana does find someone finally, though. I really hope that he does come back in her life. And then we got something with Jesus. Now, Jesus was pretty much, Jesus is filling Mariana in on what happened in the dance when he flipped out on Kyle. And Mariana encourages him to get back on his medicine, and she wants her brother back, basically. And there's not much else happening here. He eventually does track down Emma at school and tells her that he is back on the meds, and he apologizes for the way he behaved. And Emma reveals she's no longer dating Kyle. You know, that was the guy from last week. She's no longer dating him. And she agrees to give Jesus another chance. And they kiss, and now it looks like Emma and Jesus are finally together, which I'm really happy about because I love those two. I really do. And then the last thing to talk about was Jude. Now, this was actually very interesting. Jude has a date with a girl named Maddie. And his friend, as we know, his friend, the really great friend, Connor, who I always love his character, very great friend. But his friend Connor wanted to also go out with him, and it made Jude very jealous that Connor likes someone else, but we thought it was because he liked Maddie. Turns out, though, that he's sitting down with Lena, and he asks her how she knew when she was gay. He's scared because he got jealous of Maddie. He wanted Connor to like him like that, and Lena reassures him there's nothing not normal about that, and if they love him, regardless of whether he is gay or straight. And she tells him it may not necessarily be that he's gay. It may just want to be that he wants attention and doesn't like seeing his friend with another person that's not him, because he's always with Jude. I don't think it's so much that Jude's gay. I think it's that Jude is so used to Connor and things like that. But Connor did show up, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens there. So do you think Jude's gay? I've actually always thought that Jude was. Ever since he started wearing the nail polish, I thought there was an early sign of him starting to show that he was gay. And I'm thinking that Jude is gay, but we don't know that yet. But this was an amazing finale. This was just, there was so much that happened in this episode. It was a perfect finale, and I cannot wait for the next season. What is going to happen to Brandon and Vicko? What's going to happen there? Will Stef and Lena find this, this guy, find Robert Quinn, who, Callie's actual father? Why didn't he want to, sign the papers? What happened? What happened there, with her actual father? Why doesn't he want to admit something? What's going on with him? Are we going to see Zack again? What's going to happen there? Jesus and Emma are finally together, yay, and is Jude gay? That's the other question I have. But that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it. And also, what's going to happen with Timothy now that he knows that, this, when he finds out that Lena is, and also, what did Mike do to Anna? So many questions to answer. That's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for Teen Wolf. So, see you then. Bye.